have the privilege of hearing from Professor Anil Aneja. Professor Aneja is the distinguished academic and disability rights activist. He is currently heading the Department of English at the University of Delhi and directing the Center for Disability Studies with numerous publications and presentations across nearly 20 countries. He is a pioneer in integrating disability studies into academia, particularly within literature. His dedication has earned him several honors, including the National Award for the Empowerment of Persons with Disability in 2014 from the President of India and the Helen Keller Award in 2022.
Good afternoon, Bangalore City. Lunch कुछ कम खाया है. Good afternoon, Bangalore City. The most inclusive spirit of inclusion in the world, perhaps. So, first of all, thank you to Rajiv for for waking us up and helping me do my task a bit easier. Because I was very scared that after such a wonderful lunch, whether I was called to do the needful to make the audience sleep, because when the speaker is boring, it's very easy to make the audience speak, or the difficult task of waking up the audience. I see that Rajiv has already done that. Thank you very much for the wonderful task. And after that, kiska man karta hai serious baatein karne ka? But as the good habit, Firoz has directed me to speak to you for a few minutes. Firoz is a wonderful person. I met him at the Jaipur Literature Festival, which for the first time had an inclusive event on disability, in which Firoz and I were co-panelists, and that's the time we started interacting. But he has given me two difficult tasks. One, to speak to you within a space of 10 minutes. Arey ajeeb jati hai yaar. I am paid, professionally paid to talk more and more. मेरे को इस बात के पैसे मिलते हैं कि मैं ज़्यादा बोलूँ. My job as professor. And here I am to talk in 10 minutes and to talk about इतने साल की ज़िंदगी. अब ये मत पूछना कि कितने साल की ज़िंदगी. ऐसी बातें नहीं बतानी चाहिए. So, but still I try to do whatever justice or otherwise I can do. एक बात पक्की है, मैं 10 मिनट तो पार करूंगा ही करूंगा. Let Firoz be and others be ready for this. वो मुझसे नहीं होगा, but of course I try to stay within the limits. So friends, since morning we are hearing amazing things about inclusion. It's an event of positivity, a carnival of disability where we do not mope over disability, rather celebrate. And one of the best things about this event, I was wondering, I've been here for the last 2 days at the Inclusive Summit. I was wondering, what is the difference between this event and any other? And I think one of the major differences is other events take disability to meet mainstream community. India Inclusion Summit brings the mainstream community to meet disability. And that's a big achievement indeed, and very positive and different movement forward when the mainstream community seeks disability rather than the other way around. So to begin with my journey, many of you, thank you Lakshmi for the wonderful introduction. And hearing that, many of you would wonder that my life has been hunky-dory. True, head of Department of English, University of Delhi, controlling 68 colleges for curricular, 68 colleges in English studies for curricular, pedagogy, testing. Been the chairman of 4 colleges of Delhi University, which many would covet for. Director, Center for Disability Studies, President, All India Confederation of the Blind, an NGO with which I've been associated for nearly 30 years. मेरा तेज बनूँ राजधानी की तरह तो माइंड मत करना, मेरी कंडीशन ही ऐसी है, 10 मिनट में ख़त्म करना है. और इतने साल की मत पूछना कितने साल की ज़िंदगी है. So you may say, I mean, everything is fine. The question arises, is everything fine? Or has everything been fine? When I got the invitation from Firoz, I wondered why he had called me. My first response was, क्यों नहीं यार, head of department हूँ, director हूँ, बुलाएंगे ही. But मैंने said, नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. I've been called not for my present, but rather, perhaps, to share the way, the journey which has brought me to this present, which is not even a destination, because inclusion, my friends, is a process. It's not a goal. There will never be a time, perhaps, when inclusion पूरा हो गया है, because अगर एक achievement एक पड़ाव आएगा, तो दूसरी चीज बाधाएं आ जाएंगी. It's been continuous process. तो आप ये कहो कि इंक्लूजन एक गोल पोस्ट है और वहां हो गया तो गोल हो गया, ताली बजाओ, ऐसा नहीं होने वाला है. Let's be very clear, it's a continuing process. Whereas I've been a great champion of inclusion, ये बात भी सच है कि I have faced a great deal of exclusion in my life throughout. ये जो आज देख रहे हैं आप, जिसका मुझे बहुत खुशी है. I have many friends and more than that many envious. मैंने envious कहा है, enemies नहीं कहा. ये बात जरूर है, many of those envious are maybe also enemies. So I have great friends and enemies. But at the same time, I would say that without struggle, without barriers, without effort, without positivity, perseverance, without courage and conviction, inclusion cannot be achieved. And we want to achieve inclusion either in our individual life or in our collective life as society, community, etc. It's important to have conviction, commitment, courage, positivity, purpose, perseverance. Triple C, triple P is a formula of inclusion. Now, how did this work in my life is something I want to share with you. आज सब कुछ अच्छा लगता है, rose garden, rosy life, पर हमेशा ऐसा नहीं था. It's true that I'm an educator today of some standing and have educated many persons. But there was a time when my own parents did not want to educate me. My elder sister was visually impaired and she was not given education in the beginning. My parents thought that मेरा भी चल जाएगा ऐसे ही घर में खाना पीना, we were comfortable है. There's no need for education. So they planned to send my younger brother, हमारे दोनों के बीच में बहुत कम difference था, to school, but I was not sent. And I was furious. I went on a 2-day hunger strike, after which they started finding a teacher for me and a school. उस ज़माने में ये बातें जो हम आज कर रहे हैं, inclusion, inclusive school, inclusive education, technology, support, sensitization, ये शब्द थे ही नहीं in the context of disability. आपको गया पता नहीं कौन सी दुनिया से उठ के आ गया ये आदमी, ऐसी बातें कर रहा है जो थी ही नहीं और आज इतनी कॉमन बातें हैं. Yes, that is the positive change which has occurred in society in the last 60 years. When I went to school finally, I found that every visually impaired person was learning music. I have nothing against music, and I have a lot of respect and love for those who are fans or singers or artists of music. But at the same time, मेरे को ये लगा, why should visually impaired person be stereotyped and stigmatized that way? Stigmatized because वो music ही कर सकते हो, कुछ नहीं कर सकते, गाना गाओ. तो मैंने कहा ये मैं काम नहीं करूँगा. When I finally reached 9th class, my school told me either take music or leave the school. मैंने कहा कोई बात नहीं, छोड़ देंगे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. But since I was doing reasonably well, एक agreement हुआ कि मेरे को कोई टीचर नहीं दिया जाएगा, कोई मटीरियल नहीं दिया जाएगा, पर मेरे को हिस्ट्री दी जाएगी. एवरी क्वार्टर 3 महीने मेरा इम्तिहान होगा, एवरी साल मेरा एग्जाम होगा. उस जमाने में 8+3 का सिस्टम था. आई वाज इन द लास्ट बैच ऑफ 8+3 एंड मैंने कहा मंजूर है. और इस बाधा के बावजूद भी जब किताबें नहीं थी, देयर वर नो बुक्स, आई टॉप द CBSE. आई वाज इन सीरियस मेरिट लिस्ट एंड मेरे को अपना रिजल्ट स्कूल से नहीं पता चला, रेडियो से पता चला. आई वाज इन ड्यू सडनली केम टू नो दैट आई वाज द CBSE मेरिट लिस्ट, वन ऑफ द टॉपर्स इन ह्यूमैनिटीज. Went to St. Stephen's College for English holders. People thought I had finally lost it. Reason ये कि English में कोई books available नहीं थी. Where subjects like Hindi and political science, there were books inaccessible for readers were easily available. And I was told कि मैं गलती कर रहा हूँ. मैंने कहा कोई बात नहीं, गलती करना मेरी फिजरत है. अगर मेरे को 3 लोग कहते हैं कोई काम ना करो, be assured I definitely do that. 3 people said don't do that, I be very assured I do that. English honours किया, got a university rank. मेरी किताबें USA से आया करती थी, आधा टाइम उनको कस्टम से क्लियर कराने में लगता था. एक बात मैंने सीखी, मेरे को बताया गया था और मैंने खुद रियलाइज किया, अगर जीवन में आगे बढ़ना है, इन केस आई हैव टू गो फॉरवर्ड इन लाइफ, आई मस्ट लर्न टू राइट ऑन माय ओन. being visually impaired, that was a difficult task. उस ज़माने में कंप्यूटर नहीं थे. I started learning typing on an ordinary लोहे का टाइपराइटर. जो मैंने पहला सेकंड हैंड लोहे का टाइपराइटर खरीदा BA सेकंड ईयर में, वो आज भी मेरे पास. Today also I hold that. It has no speech software, no technology, manual typewriter, टक 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 टक. And उस सीखने में भी बड़ी बाधाएं आई, which I can't get into. But that made me very independent. So there are possibilities and innovations available at every point पे. After my PhD, after my MPhil, I started looking for a job. आज ये ज़माना है कि सारे प्रिंसिपल्स, I was nodal officer Delhi University for 7.5 years. एक रूल था कि मेरे सिग्नेचर के बिना कोई कॉलेज कोई एडवर्टाइजमेंट नहीं निकाल पाएगा unless that is disability compliant. पर वो मैं जो वो सब एडवर्टाइजमेंट साइन करता था, there was a time when one principal refused to interview me for the post of lecturer. He said, जब मेरे को विजुअल impaired को नौकरी देनी नहीं है तो my interview. From that was the point when no principal could issue an advertisement without my signatures. That has been my journey. Finally, after getting my job, I thought I must give back to society. And I got a request from All India Confederation of the Blind, of which I am the president today. I joined as an ordinary committee member, from there my journey as secretary, vice president, and the president. My work in advocacy and capacity building, I'm happy, has been recognized nationally as well as internationally. I had traveled 20 countries and got several awards, as I just mentioned, starting from the National Award as President of India, through the Hennekener Award, which was given by NCP, DP. I think Arman must be in the audience. I met him yesterday. But the important thing is not what I have got, what I have achieved. Important thing is how one has persevered, how one has never allowed others to control my life, how I have never allowed to hear no. I always said yes when others have said no. I have always said no when others have said yes. The road, my friends, my time indicator has come. I have much more to share. But the road, my friends, of inclusion, as I said in the beginning, is very long. Don't think we are much better than we were 50 or 60 years ago. There's no denying that. So much. The very fact we are having this major inclusive event, international event, is a testimony to that. At the same time, this is just the beginning, my friends. It is not the end. And today, a new challenge starts to ensure that a time should come when events such as Inclusion, India Inclusion Summit are not needed, because inclusion is natural, universal, and a way of life, not just in this country and abroad. That will take a long time, and towards that end, we must all join hands and have as courage of our commission, commitment, perseverance, positivity, and a sense of purpose to achieve that end. Thank you very much.
सोई तकदीरें जगा देंगे, कल को अंबर भी झुका देंगे, है जज्बा सुलझा लेंगे।